G'day ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zach and welcome back to this week's hobby highlights and headlines. Today I'm going to be running you through all the hobbying that I have been doing this week, a couple of updates that are coming to the channel and a few of the projects that I'm working on, as well as some really cool new releases from both Games Workshop and some really cool Infinity models that I've been seeing around. Without further ado, let's jump into it and see what I've been doing this week. First and foremost, you guys might have seen the Goblin mini that I posted last week, and I really love the sculpts that the creator has done. I can't remember exactly who it is, but I'll leave the name up on the screen somewhere. I have actually gone ahead and printed a bunch more of those guys. And this week specifically, I have started painting them. I first started by going through doing I think it was like a zenithal and everything. I did black, then a zenithal, and then did all the purple base coats on them with my airbrush, and then I went to do the red base coats on them, and unfortunately my airbrush compressor was finally on its way out. It has kind of been dying for a little while now, ever since I moved from my old town that I was last living in and moved down here. It's kind of been limping quite a bit because where I used to live was super humid and the water filter in it quite literally would fill up full every single day, and even the tank as well. So it ended up rusting. It went through the whole thing and unfortunately has finally carked it. But I contemplated not buying a new air compressor, but I was like, screw it, I kind of need it for like videos and things. And I bought a brand new one and it came next day on Amazon, which, oh my god, I love living in the city. And I have really, I'm really excited to jump back in and do a bit more airbrushing. This one should be a bit better because I've noticed that the tank holds pressure a lot nicer, and I can really get in and start like airbrushing some really cool things. I do like the airbrush that it comes with as well, and I'm really keen to get some more paint on these Goblin minis because I've got a hankering for painting things in kind of a unique style now and copying that Craft World studio, and yeah, really excited. Next up, I've been working on these tiny tanks as well. I usually tend to have quite a few projects going in at once because I tend to swap between a lot of different stuff, and I'm really enjoying these tanks. It's a nice little challenge to move away from something that I would say a bit more traditional, a bit more Games Workshop kind of 3 steps, you know, base coat, shade, that kind of stuff. And I've really been having a lot of fun with it, and there's so much detail on these guys. And particularly, like, I've been pushing myself to freehand some stuff in there, like especially on the shoulder pads and the tops of the hatches on the like turrets and things. They don't really have a very defined line around them. And I wanted to paint them blue because obviously I'm painting World Eaters. So I've been getting in there and I've really been going to town and getting all the details and everything in there. And I'm really impressed with how they're looking so far. They're taking me a lot longer than I thought they would because I want to put a lot of detail in them and really make them shine. I don't know if I'll collect an entire Imperial Legion. Legions Imperialis is the words I'm looking for. Because I've got a bunch of Titans and things. So maybe I just bite the bullet and do like a few squadrons and stuff, but maybe that's a long-term goal for me in general. Next up, I have also been painting some Maidmarines. I have finally started the Maidmarine army that I have been hankering to do for quite a while now. I'm not going with the traditional pink color scheme. I'm actually gonna go for like a traditional maid. These guys specifically, or I should say these gals, specifically the tea drinkers, which I'm really excited about. They have like a very basic scheme. I can more or less undercoat the entire thing in black, pick out the details with my white paint, and they're near on done. I'll probably do a couple more steps and things on like the Primark and that, but yeah, really enjoying it. So speaking of, I have actually been painting the Primark, as you can see here. Now, there is no specific chapter symbols in the pack for them, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use the unpainted or unsymboled shoulder pads, I think is the word I'm looking for, and actually freehand the cup symbol on, because not only is it kind of a simple shape that I can paint quite easily, I do really want to test out my freehand skills, because the one thing that I basically never do is freehanding, and I feel like starting off with something so simple is probably a really good way to get myself in the knack of it. And yeah, very excited to do that. And as you can see, she's coming along nicely. Very simple paint job. Basically block the whites in. I'll probably do some like gold and some silver on her naturally. Shade it all down, typical Games Workshop style, and then keep going from there. Now, alongside her, I have actually not only printed up some Maidmarine, aggressive Maidmarines with a bunch of flamers on them, I have actually added them to the store as well. So if you guys at home want to grab these for yourself, I will leave a link in the description down below with their listing. Feel free to buy that or not. I actually offer free shipping worldwide. I know, bit of a plug, but we've got to keep this channel going somehow. Yeah, I really like the models. They, especially like the helmets. They've got like these really locked down cat helmets. They look absolutely insane. Now, I do actually want to do like a marble basing scheme. I've printed up like custom bases and everything for these girls. And yeah, really excited to get into them. And also they're like kind of just fun models to build. they've got a lot of customizability, and like even the hoods themselves come out. So if you wanted to have aggressors without like the massive hood thing on them, you could get away with just leaving that completely out. But yeah, super excited to get those done. Now that leaves my hobbying for this week, but let's jump into the headlines and see what's been happening in both the Games Workshop and the Infinity world. Now, first up, I want to talk about the new Mechanicus Box price. And oh my god, is it a doozy. $390 for a tank. I think it's three robots. Then you got I think it's 2 of those big guys. Can't remember what they're called. Their name completely eludes me. A bunch of thralls, and I think maybe a character or a captain, something like that. I was not expecting this to be $390. It kind of makes sense. They've got a vehicle in there, and in all honesty, it's probably going to cost you an absolute fortune to buy these brand new. I do think in general, it's not a terrible price, but I don't know. I'm slowly really struggling to justify a lot of Games Workshop prices on a lot of things. Naturally, like it's near on like a good portion of my wage per week to buy one of these box sets, and I absolutely adore working with plastic. Like 3D printing is great, but it's kind of like working with resin where it's a little bit more fiddly and not as nice. Whereas like with your plastic kits, I find they're much easier to work with. You can use plastic glue, they actually fuse together. You're not just like, if you drop them, then they're just going to destroy everywhere. They're actually like welded. Like carving them is way easier. And yeah, I really want to get my hands on them, but like I've noticed a slow trend of Games Workshop really pushing the prices. And yeah, it's really making it hard for me to justify buying any of these. And like, these launch boxes do seem like really good value. That's why they kind of get you hooked. And like, I'm kind of glad that I didn't buy things like the Necromunda box because it was very expensive. And even after the discounts, like this Mechanicus box, if you buy it from a place like Gap Games down here in Brizzy, you will get it for $320, which absolutely amazing discount. You know, obviously the more it is, the less it'll be a bigger discount in that sense. Still $320, you know, and they've just released it sort of back to back with a couple of other big boxes. But I feel like with this one, more people are more likely to get it. And I'm definitely excited to see a few more Dark Mechanicus armies come onto the table. But for the time being, I definitely will not be picking this up. It's a little bit out of my price range, and I've got a few other projects I definitely need to get done, which in the coming weeks will actually be happening. I have huge plans to bust out a bunch of models, and actually a very big portion of my pile of shame. So yes, keep your eyes peeled for that because there's lots happening. Next up, we do actually have a bunch of new Blood Angels releases, and as of recording this video today, they have showcased, I do believe, 2 more characters, which is really cool to see. I'm actually genuinely surprised that it has taken this long for Blood Angels to get sort of the Primaris upgrades. From what I can tell, I think there was an upgrade kit off the top of my head, a few new like models and things, and like, I will admit the Brutalis Dreadnought and kind of the Dreadnoughts in general with all the Blood Angels motifs on them, especially the Death Company stuff, looks absolutely insane. I do absolutely adore it, especially on these 2 new characters because they've got like that sculpted muscle body armor, which looks absolutely insane. And I wouldn't mind at least picking up one of those guys because I really want to test out my kind of non-metallic metal skills, and specifically on non-metallic metal red. I think that would be very neat. Definitely something that I want to try out. But yeah, overall, really like the new releases, and very surprised it took them this long to start doing that. But it does kind of leave me excited for some new army prospects, because I collect Ultramarines and I collect World Eaters, and I have a lot of models. I have about 10,000 points of each. Absolutely adore those things. Now, I would like to add to my Chaos army, but I wouldn't mind adding some Blood Angels or kind of like some, probably Death Company or even Black Templars as kind of an auxiliary force to my Ultramarines. I think that'd be really cool. And I just find it very fun testing out different schemes and, you know, attempting new things. But yes, very excited for those guys, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know what you are excited for as well in the comments down below. I'd love to see, you know, if there's any particular thing that's caught your fancy, or if kind of the recent releases have kind of been lackluster to you. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. Now, last but not least, for our hobby headlines, there is some really cool Infinity stuff going around. And I will admit, I have not really had much to do with Infinity in general. And I've seen a bunch of people getting sponsored by, obviously, Corvus Belli, and it's really kind of piqued my interest. And I know that one of my local hobby shops has a bunch of models and things there at a very harsh discount because they're all metal and things. As much as a lot of people hate metal models, I absolutely adore them. You know, I can understand the old metal models like the GW stuff. They weren't built the best. You had to do a lot of pinning, a lot of green stuff, and that kind of thing. Like these Corvus Belli minis are absolutely incredible. and a lot of detail, and like metal models in general just seem to have that weight and that like you feel like you're buying a good chunk of a model for the price that it is. So you may or may not see me buy maybe 1 or 2 models because I don't want to go crazy with it. I know it's something that I'm not going to paint a bunch of. Might just keep it towards a personal project and keep you guys updated on this. But yeah, after seeing a lot of the stuff around, I am very intrigued by the game in general, and like the alternative activations look really fun. Yeah, definitely something that I'm interested in. So, and actually, before I jump onto the next segment, all the rules and list builders and everything are completely free. I'm not sponsored by Infinity whatsoever, but quite literally every part of the game is free except the models. So if you want to jump in and play a game, you know, grab some of your Warhammer minis and like proxy them in and see if you like the game in general and like the rule set. It's so interesting to see a company that's like doing that and not afraid to just give all their stuff out for free, so that point of entry is so much less of a hurdle for newbies. So yeah, if you want, I'll try and remember to leave a link down in the description down below, and let me know what you think of it if you do end up playing. I might be convinced to jump into it myself. Now, last but not least, we have our hobby hero for this week, and I do believe that I have covered them before, but I'm not 100% certain. But we have James Paints, and I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and absolutely adore their paint style. As of recently, they've been painting a bunch of Tyranids, as you can see right here, and they've got this like really iconic kind of, I would call it like a luminous sort of glow-in-the-dark scheme, and it looks absolutely insane. They've more or less, he's kind of like painted everything black and then had like these really cool spot highlights and things like the brains, like in between the carapace and everything, and it really makes the models pop. And like, I really adore what people have been doing with the Tyranids in general, especially the new models. Like, they kind of lend themselves very nicely to those more, I would say, artistic schemes. But yeah, James Paints, I should say. Might be Jamie. I hope I'm not butchering your name. My apologies if I am, my friend. But yeah, absolutely adore what they've been doing, and it really makes me want to kind of branch out from my Tyranid scheme, or take my Tyranid scheme and kind of mix it up a little bit and make it kind of a little bit more fun and interesting. So yeah, I will leave links to all that stuff down in the description down below if you want to check out more of what they have been doing. And yes, very excited to see what they do in the future, and really has inspired me to maybe try some different paint jobs, because I've been painting a bunch of different stuff on the channel, and yeah, these guys really inspire me to do some different and more interesting stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that is all the time that I have for today. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I would love to see your friendly face in our amazing community of hobby heroes that inspire not only me, but hopefully everyone else to be better and hobby in a fun way. Now, before I go, videos may be a little bit weird for the next couple of weeks. I am disappearing for a week to do some study stuff, so I may or may not be possibly not releasing videos, but definitely working on some. I'm gonna hopefully record a few over the next few days and get a bit of a editing backlog for myself. So if I do disappear, I'll probably keep you updated on things like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, which I'll leave, I always leave links to in the description down below. Just want to say thank you for getting this far into the video. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you later. Bye.